Hi, and welcome to Module 2. Last week in our first module, we did a number of important things. We looked at some important concepts and processes associated with the grant writing process. For instance, we looked at the research process, and that entails a number of things, including researching what grant opportunities exist and also researching information on the problem that the grant is designed to address. There's a lot of research involved in this, and I think you'll see more of this as we move forward in the course. As one of our assignments, we had a request for proposals assignment in which you were supposed to go out and take a look at requests for proposals, because these are the things that we use to generate the grant proposals that we write. The specifications in those RFPs, as they're called, are crucial in writing an effective grant proposal. So we should have a pretty good idea of what those look like now, having done some research on them. We also did some discussion on our discussion board. We had 2 discussion questions, and we went through those and shared our ideas and insights. One thing I want to encourage you to do on the discussion board is make sure to fully develop each element of our discussion questions. There was quite a bit of variation in the depth and detail in discussion question responses, and when I go through and grade them in the next few days, I'll be providing all of you with some detailed feedback to help you in moving forward in doing those. This week we turn our attention to the 3 major grant marketplaces. Those include private foundations, corporations, and government funding sources. Those are the 3 major sources for grants, grant funds. And it's really important to understand each of these 3 because depending on what your interests are, one marketplace might be a better place to submit grants than another. And if you don't pick the right marketplace, no matter how good your grant is, no matter how great your ideas are, it might not be successful because you submitted to the wrong place. For instance, suppose you're interested in reducing juvenile delinquency. Well, there are plenty of government grants available to address juvenile delinquency. But if you submit it to a private foundation like the Susan Komen Foundation, which is a foundation dedicated to dealing with the issue of breast cancer, obviously you're not going to be very successful, no matter how great your proposal is. So it's really important to understand the marketplaces. We will be spending a fair amount of time looking at the federal marketplace, since that is a major source of funding. Some of the largest grants available come from the federal government. There's extensive information on grants, and as you will see, there's a special website dedicated to providing information on a whole range of grants funded by the federal government. Of course, the federal government isn't the only government institution that provides funds. State government, local government, they all provide funding for various kinds of projects, depending on what their interests are and what their concerns are. So it's really going to be important to understand the government marketplace when it comes to grant writing. You're also going to be looking at some successful grant proposals. Last week, as I just mentioned, you had an assignment in which you look for requests for proposals. This week, you're going to be looking for some examples of successful grant proposals. Sometimes it really helps to see an example of something that's effective, rather than just read about what to do. So if you're teaching somebody to play tennis, you're going to demonstrate how you do it, not just describe what they should do to the students. So you'll be looking at some successful grant proposals. When I say successful, I mean proposals that have been funded. The funders decided to provide money to the funding agency. So we'll be taking a look at those. We'll also have some discussion questions, again, as we have for all of our modules. And I want to encourage you to make sure in the discussion question responses, as well as your responses to our other assignments, to make sure to incorporate, cite, and reference plenty of information from the course material. Some of you did a great job on this for our first module. Some of you didn't. Some of you had no information cited from the course material. So keep in mind that the objective of the assignments is to no small extent to give you an opportunity to demonstrate your understanding of and mastery of the course material. The only way you can do this, of course, is by incorporating that information in your work. So when you present information from the course book, for instance, you want to immediately follow it with a citation and then include a reference at the end. You need to have both. Some of you just had a reference at the end in the reference section, but no citations. So you need to make sure to do that. If you're unclear about how to do that, just send me an email or give me a call, and I'll be happy to provide whatever additional clarification you need. Okay, so that's it for this module. Again, don't hesitate to connect with me if you have any questions. I'm more than willing to help you. I don't want you feeling lost on anything that we're doing, either for this module or moving forward in the course. I look forward to connecting with you in the discussion board on our discussion for this module. Okay, have a great module. Have a great next couple of weeks.